Okay, so welcome to today's class, which is working with and creating list views. So as you know, Salesforce is a database, so it has a lot of information in it, and what we want to learn how to do is manage that information. So we do that by using what are called list views. It's kind of like reports, but it allows you to see the information right on the screen. So a report is something where you can print it out, you can export it to Excel, whereas a list view is information that you can see right on your screen. There is a couple free apps out there that allow you to take a list view and export it to Excel, but standard Salesforce does not have that. You can print a list view, but you cannot export it. But as I said, there are some apps that you can get that do allow you to do that. So we're going to be looking at list views with tasks and events and accounts. And generally that's where you will use a list view, in those three areas for tasks, events, and accounts. So I'm going to go to accounts first. Okay, hi Augie. All right, so I'm going to go to accounts. And as you know, when you first go to a view, a tab up here, it's always going to bring you to your recent accounts. Some of you who are new to Salesforce, you may find that a little confusing. I know I did when I first started learning Salesforce. Up here I see households, but I'm not in households. I'm in recent accounts. So what it's going to show you here are the top 25 accounts that you have been in. If you're a new user, the first time you come into Salesforce, this will be empty. There will be nothing there because you have no recent accounts, okay? So when you, what you want to do when you click on the account tab is then select a view. So over here I have my different views, and these are ones that we provide for you. So someone in your office, you can clean these up. You can feel free to clean these up. If you don't want some of them, you can add some of your own, and you can change them as an individual user just for yourself. So as an admin, you can create views that you can share with the whole company. As an individual user, you can edit what's there and save them just for yourself. It won't be messing up with anyone else. Now, some community users, if any of you are community users, actually do not have the rights to edit the views. I still think this class will be productive for you because you can see what a list can do for you, and then you can request certain views through your company, and they'll create them for you. Okay, so if you don't see edit up here or create, then that means you do not have that view. Now, if you're not a community user, then you may want to just request from whomever's in charge of your Salesforce to give you that right. Okay, so you can be given the right to at least edit a view and create your own. Okay, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on clients. When I click on clients, then it's going to take me to the client list. Now, if I go back to my home page and then go back to accounts, I'm back on my recent account list, and I see clients up here. So it always remembers the last view that you were in, but it doesn't actually take you to it until you click go. When I click go, then I'm looking at the view. Okay? So when I'm looking at a view, at the bottom of the screen, okay, now it's going to be difficult. So at the bottom of the screen, we should see here how many, 1 through 5 of 1,761. So I have 1,761 clients in my system, okay? Now this drop down here allows me to say that I want to see 25 or 10 or 100. Okay. Now what you want to understand is that even though I'm on 50, let me show you how this works, because personally I tell it to see 50, but I still have to scroll because of my monitor. Okay, so everybody's monitor is a little bit different. So you may be able to see 50, but on my screen I have to scroll, and that I don't like that. So I'm going to switch mine down to 10 because I want to be able to see, well, 10's kind of low. Let's say 25. Okay, so I still can't even see 25. I have to scroll. So I don't want to have to scroll. So I'm going to leave it on 10, and then I can say next. And then each time I say next, it's going to show me the next 10 and the next 10 and the next 10. Okay, so that's up to you what you want to leave it on, and it will remember whatever you left that setting on. Okay, it is sorting by the name of the account. In most cases, the name of the account will be the person's last name. You can sort by any column when you're in a list view, and then it'll the alpha numbers up here, the alpha letters up here, will then take you to that grouping. So for a unique ID, that doesn't make sense. But if I go back to account and I click on H, then it takes me to the H's. And then when I next through, I go through all the H's. Okay. The columns that I see are controlled by the view itself. All right. So if I go up here and I click on Edit, that takes me into the Edit View area. And this is where we can make changes to what it is that we see. So right now, this view is showing account record type equals person account. Okay. Now, you may use person accounts for other things as well as clients. So we want to add to this if that is the case. Now, let me show you what I mean. If I go into an account here, okay, this is a person account, but you can have different types of person accounts. So you could use this for clients and for spouse and for child and for grandchild. Every company will have a different list here. Okay, so if you're going to use the person account, which is basically, I know everybody's at a different point in their learning process here, but if I say new, and then basically you're going to most of the time pick person account. You can do a business account, you can do an insurance carrier, an investment manager, so it depends on what your role is in your company as to what you may or may not select here. So if I click person account, then that's creating a new account. And then from there, I can set the type. So if you're not using this type drop-down, you may want to start using that, because then when you go and set up your views, so I'm going to go back here to edit, I can then add to my criteria here. So this first set of boxes that we see is telling it what we want to see when we click on that view. And this is the criteria of that view. So right now it's saying, give me all my person accounts. And then I'm going to say, and type, which was that type field, equals, and then it does give me a lookup. And I can pick client. I could pick multiple ones if I wanted to, and then I say insert. So now when I click save, okay, now I may or may not, this is my test data system here, so let's see what I have now. Okay, so now I only have 14 of those 1,700 person accounts that are coded as client. Okay, and again, this is my test database, so hopefully that won't happen to you. But now what I've done is I've added another line, and generally each time you add a line to your criteria, you're going to size down the results because you're asking for more conditions. Okay, so I could add to this again, and I could say where primary state equals, and then I could pick a certain state that I'm working with. And you have to know how your data is in that field, if it's spelled out or if it's abbreviated. And then I click Save. Okay, so now I have no accounts in New York, so let me just take a quick look here. And my New York. Okay, so I should have gotten that. So type equals client, And so it's not primary state, it's mailing state. Okay, so I had the wrong field. Mailing state equals New York. So now I have 3 conditions. So now it's going to size down my result. So I had 14, so now I have 4. Okay? So you can keep adding to this. Now this is working on that same client. So what I would really want to do is say clients in New York. Right? So I still have my clients that I haven't touched, and then I'm going to create a new one, but I want to use the existing one, so they give me the option to save as. So now I can click Save As. I have to say in New York here. Okay, so now I have created, I still have clients, and now I have clients in New York.